Hello, ladies. We are back, Evelyn and
Leonette. Hi, everyone.
and we were going through the Beatitudes before. We were talking about Bible verses before, but today we want to talk about things that relate to your daily life. Of course, the Bible relates to your daily life, but we want to talk about certain topics. So, one thing that we've come across lately, and it's not just one woman; it's various, and not only here in Korea, but also among our friends, other pastors' wives who are working around Asia, have spoken to us and have noticed this is something that has been a real struggle with many women in their churches. And it's the problem of scammers. Scams.
Yes.
Phone scams, email scams, Facebook scams. These scammers who pretend to be a certain person, but they're not. And they're preying on you like a lion who hunts down his prey to attack and kill.
Yes, take away everything.
Take away everything. Give me an example of some things that scammers do.
Well, one thing they do is they send an email. Mostly, that's a common one. That send an email offering this one lifetime opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
But this opportunity requires you to invest. So you need to send in money,
Mm-hmm.
and at this location follow the procedures to send this
Mm-hmm.
money. Or another example is when they send you a message on social media,
Mm-hmm.
like Facebook, and they claim they are this American soldier.
That's common.
Yes, and they start saying these nice words, trying to involve with the
Mm-hmm.
person emotionally. And then at the end, towards the conversation, they start saying, "Well, I need this much money, and I'm going
Just a
through
little
this."
bit. Just a little bit.
And then, those are the two common ones that I think of right now.
Yeah, and they normally promise up front. They'll
Mhm.
promise you, oh, I have all this money
Yeah.
that I need to invest, or I have all this money and I need someone, a good, kind soul with a bank account so I can deposit this money.
Yeah.
Could I use your bank account? And just because you are so kind, I will let you keep 10%. Things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And they usually, a lot of the emails, I remember getting emails like this. Now I spam them all so they don't come to my email anymore. But they're like, I'm a Nigerian prince,
Yes.
or I work for this government, or my country has gone through some civil war and it's not safe to deposit, and I have $10 million. Please, could I put it in your bank? And I know I'm laughing, and I'm not trying to laugh at those who have been fooled by these scams,
Yes.
because it is, really attractive. If you've been struggling, you've really been struggling for a long time, trying to take care of your family, working really hard, earning a few thousand and, sending it back to your family, hoping, and then maybe you get into debt. You've been borrowing to cover your debts, and then you get more into debt. And then all of a sudden, you get this email. You're making these prayers, oh God, please help me do something miraculous.
Yes.
And then the next day, an email.
Right. And at first, the people who usually fall for this, they think, they don't think of it as, oh, this is too easy.
Yeah, too good to be true.
Too good to be true. Because they're struggling so much that just by hearing it, they just
their hopes rise.
Yeah.
Their hopes rise. And we understand. We understand that happens. But we want to warn you and caution you that too many people have been robbed by these criminals. Criminals, the Bible says that Satan can appear as an angel of light. He disguises himself. Well, anyone who works with evil intentions, they have that same spirit. They disguise themselves as an angel of light. Another thing that these scammers do is they use dating websites, dating apps to pose as really nice, good-hearted guys. And they're lonely, and their wife just died, or they have no children, or something about how they're alone. a lot of times they say that they're widowers.
Yeah.
So what does that do to you as a woman? You as a woman who desperately needs money, many women who are alone, who feel like you've been abandoned by your husband, or you dream someday that you could have someone to love you and love you for the way you are. And here comes this man saying all the right words. I saw your picture on Facebook, and I just thought, what a beautiful woman. And I saw that you're a Christian, and I'm a Christian too. And I'm just looking for some woman who loves God the way I do. Would you be interested in talking to me? I'm so lonely because my wife has died. And so your instinct says, could this be? Could this be? And he's an American soldier.
He's everything I wanted.
He's everything, and he can provide for me, and he has money, and then on top of that, he wants to invest so many $1,000s or whatever into your bank if you would just be so kind. And he's planning to come and visit. That's usually another thing. Normally he's stationed in a dangerous war zone. He's stationed in Iraq or in Afghanistan, or he might be in Turkey, in some area where you feel sorry for the poor guy. He's all alone. And he's almost getting ready to retire, or he's almost ready to go on leave. It's his vacation time. And guess where he wants to go?
He wants to visit you.
You. He wants to come to where you are, your country, because he has no family back home. So he wants to see you because your picture is beautiful and your profile is amazing and you are the woman of his dreams. Now, that is too good to be true.
Yes. And when we hear about it, I instantly think about it like, no, but it's scam. That's already a scam.
Yeah, it's already a big red flag should come out saying, no, this guy is lying to you. He's out to steal from you. And then the problem is that many women fall for the fact that he will send a picture. And they say, oh, look at his picture.
Here's the proof.
Here's proof. Look at his profile. He's a nice guy. Sure enough, there's a picture of a very pleasant-looking, middle-aged, looking like an all-American guy in his uniform or with a flag, smiling at the camera. And in his profile, it says he's from, Baltimore, Maryland, or some
state.
Yeah, some random city in the United States. And his last name is always something like Johnson or Williams or just good old American name. And so there's a part of every woman, I know, there's something inside of you that says, I don't know, this is too much of a coincidence. How can this be true?
Yes.
But the problem is there's that other side of the woman that says,
this is what I've been waiting for. Because, like you said, two things, money and love life.
Yes.
Two things that many women who are out here alone in the country far from their family, they want.
Yeah.
They want money to be able to supply their needs, and they also desire someone to love them.
Yes.
Affection and all those things.
So let's go through a rundown of some things that you can know for sure that this is a scam. First of all, before I do that, I want to say something else. Even if it wasn't a scam, even if this guy was for real, there are other aspects of this that you need to think about. First of all, why do you want to talk to a strange man that you have never met?
Yeah.
Even if he has the purest intentions, even if he is a really good guy, as a Christian woman who wants to live a life that is clean before God, that is trusting in God, that believes that God is the one who is her provider, you do not open your life up to any strange man online.
Exactly.
It doesn't matter who. It does not matter. You do not open your life up to any strange man. Yeah. And in fact, I have received those weird solicitations on Facebook. Yes. I've gotten men who write to me, oh, I saw your picture. Oh, can we meet? Oh, can we talk? Oh, hey there. I'd like to get to know you. Instantly, I delete the guy.
Yeah.
I block him. I don't want to know who he is. I don't care who he is. People can say, well, maybe I can evangelize him. Maybe I can save his soul. Well, sorry, no.
Exactly.
Why doesn't he write to my husband? Why doesn't he write to our church? Why doesn't he say, please help me? I need, I need to learn about faith. No, I do not do that. I cut that off at the root. So do not even look at those things to begin with. Second of all, if you're getting involved in dating websites, you're opening up your life to, as you become a huge target for con men, a huge target for scammers, and a huge target for people who just want to take advantage of you. If you are believing in God, you come to church, oh Lord, I give you my life, I trust in you, whatever you ask, I will do. What does it say that you have to run to a dating website to find a guy? That means your prayers were not sincere. You didn't really mean that you will allow God to show you.
It's like you say, God, I trust in you, but I don't see anything happening, so I'm going to go to my computer, put up my profile, and try to find somebody out there, that you don't even know.
Right. And you may say, but I can't find anybody. I look at my church. I hardly see any men coming to my church. How am I going to find anybody? There is always a way.
Yes.
But the thing is, it's not about how you do it. It's more about who you're trusting in. When you invest your time and your effort in, it's like Russian roulette. Playing Russian roulette, which you know what that is.
Yes.
People with a loaded gun and there are a couple bullets in there and then they keep pulling the trigger. Basically, that's what you're doing. You're putting a gun to your head when you get onto these dating websites. And you're giving all your information and you're trusting that everyone out there is honest. You're trusting that even the owners of this dating site are honest or that they can catch the crooks. Even the best of the best dating websites that I've even heard of that call themselves Christian, they can't catch them.
Yeah.
So as a sign to God that you really are trusting in him, don't even consider. As a Christian woman, do not get involved in dating sites. Okay, so those two things said. Let's move on.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what if you have not taken any of this advice? What if you're already involved? What if you're already in a conversation with one of these guys? What are some of the key signs that this is a scammer? All right. The old style, which began in the 90s. This has been around for decades. These scammers have been around. The old style, I'm a Nigerian prince. Okay, that's a scam.
Yeah.
I work for the Prime Minister's office. Why is someone in the Prime Minister's office writing to you? How did they get your email? Why are you so special to them? No. Delete. Mark it as spam. Mark it as junk and never respond to them again. Anyone who wants to invest a large amount of money and say, just because you're nice, I'm going to give you 10%. No. If you give your bank information, you're opening yourself up for them to be able to hack into your account and steal even more. It has happened over and over and over again. Another thing, they send you a photograph of themselves, especially when it comes to the lonely American soldier, sending you a photograph. Don't trust the photograph. Anybody can copy and paste a photograph. Anybody can download just any random photograph from a magazine and put it up and say that's him. Anybody can invent a fake name. So don't believe it when you see this nice photograph, this nice looking name, this nice looking story. So you know already that if they say that their wife has died or their children have died or their mother has died, that's a typical story. Don't believe it. Okay, so they're in the army. And they say that they're in a dangerous country like Iraq or Afghanistan, something like that. They're in a dangerous country. And the banks there are not stable. And the money there is not stable. And so they have their salary, but they don't know where to deposit it because they're in a very dangerous country. What are they going to do with their salary? Please, can I send my salary to you and deposit it in your account? What's wrong with that story?
Well, everything's wrong with them because it doesn't exist. They already have a bank account back home.
Yes. In the U.S. military, just for you to know, and I know this, my dad used to be in the Army. When my parents were working as missionaries here in Korea, they worked in close connection with the military, doing military outreach to the GIs here in Korea. We know a lot about what goes on in the U.S. military, and you will find that on every military base, your salary, there is a U.S. bank on the base, and your salary can be deposited directly into your account in the United States, and you can withdraw it from your bank on the base. So there's no need. No American soldier needs to deposit his money in any other bank. It's safe. It's secure. It's already, because any U.S. base, it's considered American soil. So that is just a big lie. So don't trust that. Okay, that's one thing. Another thing is he's going to go on his leave. He's going to have his vacation. So he has to ask his commanding officer for permission to go to your country. Instead of going back to the United States, he wants to go to your country because he loves you. And you're so beautiful and you're so wonderful. So he asks his commanding officer, please, may I go visit this wonderful Christian woman in Singapore, Hong Kong, Taiwan, Korea, Japan, wherever you happen to be. He'll ask, this is what he will write you. He's asked permission, and his commanding officer thought about it, and his commanding officer looked at your picture and said, oh, yes, she's a wonderful Christian woman. I trust her. You don't need permission from your commanding officer. So right there, that is a big sign. No, this is a lie. They're inventing this. Okay, another thing also having to do with this commanding officer thing is sometimes the commanding officer will supposedly even call you. Okay, you're getting these phone calls, these voice messages from this wonderful American soldier, and almost always he will call you, oh, my darling. Oh, you are so sweet. Oh, you are my love. Right?
Yes.
No man in his right mind would do that. If you want a good man who has a head on his shoulders, who knows how to make wise decisions, you don't want a man who will instantly be calling you my love. Then you have a man, either he's a crook or he has a mental problem. Okay?
One of
the other. So, all right. So he's calling you. He's sending these voice messages, and he says, but my commanding officer, because he gave me permission, but he wants to speak to you. He wants to make sure that you're a good woman, like he thinks you are, before he gives me permission to go visit you. So you get a phone call from the commanding officer, which would never happen. Commanding officers do not do that. They are not involved in the private life of their soldiers. As long as their soldiers are doing their job, they're obeying the rules and regulations of the military, they're not breaking any laws, they're getting their job done, a commanding officer by law has no right to interfere with his soldiers' private life. So it would be unethical. It would be against the Army policy for a commanding officer to speak to you and say, oh, yes, I think you're a wonderful woman of God. You're such a good woman of faith, and I trust you.
Yeah.
I will let him go because I see you're a good woman.
That won't happen.
It will never happen. Okay. Third thing, is a third or fourth, I don't know. Next thing on the list is when he asks you to send money, which he always will. Another 100% guarantee that this is a scam. If this guy says, oh, I can't wait to see you. I want to deposit money in your account. We're going to have such a good time together. I believe that God wants us to marry, blah, 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 blah. There's going to be a time where he says, but I have these processing fees that I have to pay for me to be able to go on vacation. The Army requires that I pay just $200. Do you think you could send me $200 so I can go through this processing fee? Which, okay, first of all, how does that make sense if he has $10,000 he wants to deposit in your account, but he needs you to send him $200?
Why won't he use the $10,000?
Yeah, use his own money.
Yes.
That makes no sense. Why does he need you to send money? The minute anyone asks you to send money, whether their mother is dying, whether they are dying, oh, that's another thing. People will say, I know you don't feel sorry for me because I'm dying. And I know I have lived a terrible life, but maybe God will have mercy on me because I'm repenting. You know, that's a whole other scam story.
Yes.
The dying rich man.
They make this story very dramatic,
Yeah.
so you can be convinced that I need to help them.
Yes, so you feel sorry, so it gets your emotions going. All right, so the moment they ask you for money, no matter who they are, that is proof. Scammer, send them nothing. Never send them. No matter how much they plead and they beg and they say how they're about to die and their mother's about to die and I thought you were a good Christian woman and don't Christians help each other out? You know, he will come up with a million excuses, a million reasons for you to get that money out of your bank and mail it to him. So we've had examples of women who have mailed box loads of cash to these strange countries. Okay, so one tip. If this is a U.S. military man, they will have a special mail address because the U.S. military does not use the postal service of the country where they're in. If he is stationed in Iraq, his military address, if you want to send him a letter from you to Iraq, it first goes through an Army postal service in the United States. That's how it works. Every Army soldier has an American Army address that says APO. That means Army Postal Office, or Air Force Postal Office, or FPO, which is Fleet Postal Office. If it says APO, FPO, okay, that's a real military. That's a real military address. Yeah. But you will not send it to him in, Istanbul, Turkey, or Tehran, Iran, or any of these other places. You will not.
It will not go directly to this country.
Yeah, not to the country address. So again, that's proof that this is a scammer, this is a con artist. And you can get into serious trouble if the police find this amount of cash that you are mailing to this dangerous country where terrorists are known to be. They will track you down. They'll want to know who you are. So another big red flag. So I don't know how many reasons we have given you right now.
So many, right?
Yeah.
We don't know any more stories, and maybe they've gone through something that's similar, but can be a little different. The story that they saw in their email or social media.
Yeah.
But it's basically when they start talking about money, asking for it, or asking for your information, that's already a huge sign that it's a scam.
Yeah. So this is something that we're wanting to warn you about, and not to make you feel bad. If any of you have been caught in this, we understand why. We understand that, these people are professional criminals, and they know the kind of things that will touch a woman's heart, especially women who are really struggling like you. So we're saying this to alert you. Be wise, be on guard. And like the Bible says, to be innocent as doves, but be crafty as serpents. Innocent as doves, but be crafty as serpents, which means innocent and pure in your heart. Don't be suspicious all the time. Don't be sure that everybody's out to get you. But on the other hand, be very wise and be aware of the signs. Okay? Don't think that you're going to save this guy's soul by continuing in conversation. Don't think you can reason with him and make him realize that he is doing something wrong. He knows he's doing something wrong and he likes it. He has stolen from probably thousands of people, according to the military police. Thousands of these scams go out every single day. Thousands. And they can't track them down because often these guys are Nigerians or from some other country, some other remote country. Even Filipinos are known to do these kinds of things. And they're in some internet cafe where you can't trace where they're doing this, where you can't trace where they're sending out all these emails, all these messages. So be wise. Be a woman of God who lets God be the one who provides your financial blessings, your love life blessings. He wants to, but you interfere with God when you try to do things your way rather than God's way. So if you have any questions, feel free to send them to us. Post them in the comments below.
Yes.
All right? If it's happened to you, if you know someone who's been scammed, share your experience. We want to know. This is not, like I said, to make you embarrassed. It's just to open your eyes. All right? Anything else?
That's pretty much it.
All right. So we'll see you with some more tips on just daily, everyday life next time around. God bless. Bye.